Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the program Late Night Baltimore on the LNB Network. Looking a little red today. I got some bad sunburn. Well, I was outside today in Baltimore and it was hot. All right, well, let me show you something. We had a dream, and that dream was this player came up to bat for us in Baltimore. I don't know who did this, but it was a very great Baltimore Oriole fan. And this is what we want to see. It's on. Okay, so here, let's turn on the sound on this.
Ask for a better start than hitting a home run in your first at bat to give your team the lead.
I don't know how to start it over, so I have to start it over. Watch this now.
Looks like this guy was looking out over the plate, but he was ready to turn on the inside fastball. So direct to the pitch, absolutely blasted out of this ballpark.
All right, let's see that again.
Here's a big power threat. Muddy Shartner looking pretty good at the plate. He's 4 for 10 in the series. Hammers that one deep left field and forget it. He'll circle the bases, and just like that, they're out front. It's 2-0.
You can't ask for a better start than hitting a home run in your first at bat to give your team the lead. Looks like this guy was looking out over the plate, but he was ready to turn on the inside fastball. So direct to the pitch, absolutely blasted out of this ballpark.
All right, that was really cool by somebody who must be a big fan of the Orioles and lives in a bit of a fantasy world. So that's cool. Hey, let me try glasses. I can't be. I can't see out of these either. All right, now let's look at some of Donald Trump is in Scotland. He is allowing by his delays, he's giving his good buddy Putin time to just go hog wild on the Ukraine, who are supposed to be our friends who were protecting our vows to protect the West from these incursions of dictators. That's been the United States belief, fundamental core of our foreign policy for 100 years through all kinds of administrations until this one, who's buddy with Putin and or is too stupid or not smart enough to deal with him. And now Ukraine is kind of being hung out to dry. And Donald Trump will claim when the violence stops after Russia gets all the land that they're invading for, when the fighting stops, he'll try to say that he ended the war, that he was supposed to end in 24 hours. All right, let's hear the Donald. Now, here's the Donald. This is a good story because here's old Donnie getting drowned out by some bagpipe. Does that mean he was drowned out by Stephen Miller? All right, let's check that out. Let's see. And our fancy schmancy. Okay, fancy schmancy. There's me. There's them. Let's watch. Where is this? Okay. Does that mean he was being drowned out by Stephen Miller? All right, watch this.
How are you feeling about it? Great. Biggest one ever made. What do you hope to accomplish today?
Well, that's good he was drowned out because he probably would have said something offensive. What's this? All right. We're all over the place now. That's all right. So is the Don. Donnie Epstein. Now let's see. The Don got caught cheating in golf. No, that's not the worst thing. But he's just such a doofus that, I mean, why do you want to cheat on a game you want to play all the time? I know golf is a pain in the ass to play, which is why I try not to play it, or what I do. I don't know if you call it playing golf. Let's see what the old boy did. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it myself, but all right. We do this. Now watch this now.
Soccer.
See this? Watch this. This is his caddy. Whoa, he threw the ball out there. Ain't that nice? Well, I gotta say this. He has a good caddy. He should hire his caddy to be in his cabinet, be a better Secretary of Defense, and it would be better to replace any member of his cabinet. Now the old Don got it's pretty even to say. I think he would be proud to say that he got Stephen Colbert canceled because of Stephen Colbert's political beliefs and because of the material he did on the show. And this is from the group of people, MAGA people, who have this fake cancel culture. Well, I don't give a crap if something that they don't like is canceled. It's not cancel culture then. When a guy is canceled specifically for his material, it's completely against freedom of speech, and it's the worst kind of canceling, but that's the way they are. They don't care. All right. Now, let me go to something else. It is something I saw. Here's Donald insulting I think it's the Prime Minister's friend. Let's hear that. Let's watch where that is. And we'll share that. And let's see. Watch this now. Wait. I don't know why this. That's not it. This is a live feed or something, even though it's not going on now. Let's go back to the studio. We never left the studio because that was not what we wanted. So Here we go. Okay, here we go. All right, got to share. I'm getting used to all this stuff, folks. Let's watch this now. Where's the sound, man? All right, let's watch it. Watch this in its full glory. Oh man, I don't know where I am. Is this it? Okay, this might be it. Is it showing up?
Visit London. I'm not a fan of your mayor.
Here we
I
go.
think I think he's
I
done a
can't
terrible
even
job.
insult
A
the
nasty
old
person.
Trump's the
I think he's
dominance.
I think no, I
Yeah,
think he's a friend of mine. No, I think he's done a terrible job.
talking about the guy's friend. Who's the
But
mayor.
I would certainly visit London. I'm not a fan of your mayor. I think he's done a terrible job. A nasty person. I think he's done. I think no, I think he's a friend of mine. No, I think he's done a terrible job.
All right. Oh no! Stop. All right, that was bungled by me. So, Donald, you didn't lose. But I'm not trying to turn the United States into an authoritarian oligarchy, whatever. So, okay, here's something I found on the internet, and I don't know if people know about this. There, back in the day, there was Howard Stern, and Howard Stern's rivals were Opie and Anthony. And Anthony was Anthony Cumia, who's still around, doing podcasts and I think working for an AM station in New York. I was always more of a Howard guy myself. I wouldn't, it was kind of, I don't know. It was a wild show. It was crazy. I mean, of the two, I would have chosen Howard. I'm a Stern fan of amongst those two. But let's watch this and see what we think of what this person is saying. Okay, hold on now. Here it is. Let's share. We got this? All right. Share screen. Okay. What do we think of this? Get the sound up here.
There are a couple of movies and shows out on Netflix and Apple TV. The other day, I saw this on Apple TV. It's a show about the Blitz. Now, the Blitz in England in the 40s during World War II was the air raids. Germany would fly over and bomb London. At the beginning of the war, they were kind of being cool with like London, because even Hitler, even literally Hitler, like wasn't really keen on destroying architecture and cultures, unless of course they were Jews. But Hitler wasn't all gung-ho about leveling London. Hitler was a great fan of architecture and leveling cities.
So you can see where this gets off to a start. He's already kind of trying to put Hitler in a good light. Well, Hitler wouldn't have done it. Hitler didn't really want to do that. Well, he sure destroyed a lot of things for someone who didn't really want to. It must have been it must have felt horrible.
He was not his bag, man. And Churchill apparently wanted Hitler to start bombing London so they could get more sympathy.
Yeah, no. He didn't want that. He wanted assistance. The United States had to get in the war. It was not getting in the war fast enough. So it wasn't really about sympathy so much. So that's another weird thing to
from
say.
Countries that weren't involved in the
So
war
this
yet,
is
like
the
the United
Anthony,
States.
Anthony of
And
Anthony, if you don't know.
He just wasn't biting. So Churchill and the RAF were really, they kind of bombed Germany first, bombed Berlin.
Yeah, there you go. Comes out pretty fast. So England caused World War II.
And then they're like, okay, I guess we got to bomb London. When they started bombing London, you know, a lot of families and kids there in jolly old London back then, and they were actually English, not Muslims and Pakis like now. They were English. So they took the little kids in London.
Ding! Racist.
And the parents had to be like, okay, cheerio. See you after the war then. And they sent their kids off into the country, the countryside of England, various places without, you know, were inconsequential as far as the war goes. So they weren't going to drop bombs on them. So the kids would be safer. So they did that. And there have been movies about that. I mean, we've seen a lot of World War II movies, and that's been subject of a lot of movies. Well.
Okay, Mark, what you just said. It's been the subject of a lot of movies.
Well, there's a new one out called The Blitz, and it's on Apple TV. And this one's just a little different because it's a black kid, a little black kid that's being taken out of the country by, a black civil defense gentleman. Now there's the picture on the right of the TV, the show on Apple TV. And then on the left, you'll see a more accurate depiction of what was going on. A white civil defense guy and a white child being rescued by the person. Were there any black people? I'm sure there were.
Okay, so first of all, where do you start with this? The white people is accurate. He said that there have been many movies made about this subject. Someone's trying to make a movie from one perspective, a new perspective. And his problem isn't that it's not accurate, because he's conceding that it was probably at least some cases of this. I don't know. And he's mad because it's black people. So, and he was rooting for Hitler, I guess.
Black people were all over. Not as bad as it is now, but they were everywhere. I'm sure they were. But to focus a movie around that, using the black angle on such a white historical event, is, again, you know, cultural appropriation, I guess.
No, it's not cultural appropriation. The Germans were against all races that weren't Aryan, what they thought were Aryan. It's not white history, okay? It's the Nazis trying to take over the world by killing Jews. I'm sure you probably aren't really thinking that Jews are the kind of white that you're talking about, so.
The blackening of history, blackwashing history. This one is made by Steve McQueen. No. Now hold on, folks. Not the cool white Great Escape Steve McQueen. No. The black Steve McQueen. How does he get to call himself Steve fucking McQueen? Don't you have to do something like change the name? Because
No, you only have to change the name if the person is in the Screen Actors Guild is still living. He's going to bring up the example of Michael J. Fox had to put the F because of Michael Fox. But that is because both actors were working and in SAG at the time. Steve McQueen, I'm sure, probably was born after the Steve McQueen he's talking about had passed away, so the name would be available.
it's the same as someone else's name. Isn't that why Michael J. Fox is Michael J. Fox? There's a Michael Fox. And then Michael J. Fox comes along and goes, oh, I'm an actor. I belong to Screen Actors Guild and everything. And like, we already got a Michael Fox. All right, I'm Michael J. Fox. And then he turns out to be more famous than Michael Fox. There's a Jim Norton. There's a Jim Norton actor. And I think he's English. He's some guy. Been in a couple of movies. And Jim Norton's like, yeah, I got to be like Jimmy Norton or something. So Steve McQueen, it's just some black guy. And he's got the name of arguably the coolest white actor ever. So there's some appropriation right there.
Only if he changed. Did he change his name to that, or that was his name when he was born?
There, motherfucker. Can you find the trailer for the Blitz? I didn't include it in my preparation there, Ryan.
No probo.
Oh, it's so bubbly. Those Mexicans, they know how to bring fentanyl across the border and make really good bubble water.
Ding!
Yeah, it was like a CD. Well, that's English. I know here it was a CD. It was put together. Yeah, there it is. All right, maybe it's accurate there with that. Yeah, it was a little helmet. I like that little end joke for you. Yeah, so this is just another one of these. Okay, let's see. Let's watch along. See what the story's about. Steve McQueen. Academy Award winner Steve McQueen. Fucking
What is your name?
black guy. Stole this.
So how the hell did you end up here?
Boy. Apple Original Eggplant Films presents Moulignan Production.
She did it to keep you safe.
Your son did not arrive at his destination.
You're responsible for his safety. Why can't you tell me? Where's my boy?
Uh-oh, is she a coal burner?
This is for all the parents whose children have been evacuated, and for my boy, George.
This just looks... Oh, of course. Black singing and dancing. I don't know. Looks dull. You gotta black it up. They gotta black that shit up. World War II was black, motherfucker.
One wish.
Blitz. Written and directed by the black Steve McQueen. They should have to put the black Steve McQueen.
Well, everybody, that's about it. That's way too much of that than I could stand, but I just thought somebody ought to draw attention to see what kind of disgusting crap, evil stuff that's going on in this guy's like mainstream, or he was. I don't know if this, I think he failed. His company, Compound Media, failed, but I believe he's in the on a major station in New York now. So I hope I didn't make everybody too sick, but I wanted to you got to draw attention to this shit. Meanwhile, Steve Colbert gets canceled. All right. Well, I have to say, thank you for watching. Good night, all. And as usual, as we like to say, F MAGA. So F MAGA. All right? All right, everyone. Till next time, like, subscribe, do all that cool stuff we need for our little station. All right, good night. F MAGA.